Hi, my name is Nurzaman Yunanda, and I'm here to talk about the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the global economy. Well, there's no way to tell exactly what the economic damage from the global COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic will be. There's a widespread agreement among the economists that it will be a severe negative impact on the global economy. Early estimate predicts that should the virus become a global pandemic, most major economies will lose at least 2.9% of their gross domestic product or GDP over 2020. This forecast was already restated to a GDP loss at 4.5%. To put this number in perspective, global GDP was estimates at around 87.55 trillion US dollars in 2019, meaning that a 4.5% drop in economic growth result in almost 3.94 trillion US dollars of lost economic output. Coronavirus also impact on global stock markets. Global stock markets have also suffered dramatic fall due to the coronavirus outbreaks, although they were able to recover from the loss quite quickly. Dow Jones reported its largest ever single day loss of almost 3,000 points on March 16, 2020, beating its previous record of 2,300 points that was set only 4 days earlier. COVID-19 outbreaks also affect industry that the economic damage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic is largely driven by the fall in demands, meaning that there are less consumers willing to purchase the goods and services available in the global economy. The dynamic can be clearly seen in heavily affected industries such as travel and tourism. To slow the spread of the virus, countries have placed restrictions on travel and many people could not purchase flights for holiday and business trips. This reduction in customer demand was the reason why airlines lost planned revenue, and as a result, they had to cut their expense by reducing the number of flights they operate. Without the government assistance, eventually airlines will also need to lay off shut to cut more costs. The same dynamic applies to other industries. For example, with falling demands for oil and new cars, as daily commutes, social events, and holidays are no longer possible, as companies start to reduce employment to make up for the lost revenue. The worry is that this will create a downward economic spiral when these newly unemployed workers can no longer afford to purchase as many goods and services as before. This dynamic makes the economic complex whether the COVID-19 pandemic could lead to global recession on the scale of great desperation. Without the government support, despite the clear danger that the global economy is in, there are also reasons to be hopeful that this worst case scenario can be avoided. Governments have learned from the previous crisis that the effect of a demand-driven recession can be countered with government spending. Consequently, many governments are also increasing their provision of monetary welfare to the citizen and ensuring business have access to the funds they need to keep their staff employed through the pandemic. In addition, the specific nature of this crisis meant that some sectors may benefit from it. E-commerce, food retail, and healthcare industry provide at least some economic growth to offset of the damage. Although a crisis-induced movement to online activities, such as working from home, purchasing goods online, contacting family, etc., can be observed. It gives an opportunity for IT solution providers to increase their market shares. Well, we also hope to going back to normal. Finally, there is the fact that this crisis may have cleared and that when all restrictions can be lifted. This seems to be possible when the majority of the global population is vaccinated against COVID-19. It could then enable the global economy to experience a sharp rebound once the pandemic is over. There are still many variables that could affect such an economic recovery, for example, reduced supply of goods and services to meet lower demand could create a mid-term shortage and price increase. But there are some reasons to think that with the right mix of appropriate government response and luck, some of the more apocalyptic prediction may not come to pass. That is my that is my description. And thank you for listening. Goodbye.